I have a confession to make. I don't like being sold to. In fact, if I can avoid the sales reps, that's exactly what I'll do. For example, I don't answer calls when I don't know who's calling because I know there's a close to 100% chance it's someone trying to sell me something I really don't want or need. And yet, I must say, I do love buying stuff. Do you know who else loves buying stuff? That's right, my wife. Some might say that she loves it a little bit too much. And yes, with some I mean me, of course. But here's the thing, and this is important. I buy when the situation and the circumstance is right for me, not when it's right for the sales rep. Think about it. When was the last time you enjoyed being sold to? Now, compare that with the last time you enjoyed buying something you really wanted or needed. That's right. I really needed this expensive and beautifully crafted hand plane from Lie-Nielsen for my latest woodworking project. So I bought it. That gap, that fundamental disconnect, is at the heart of what I call the access paradox. And it's costing companies millions in wasted efforts and missed opportunities. For decades, companies have operated on a simple assumption: more touch points equals better relationships equals more sales. And this led to the reign of what I call the frequency dinosaurs. Prehistoric KPIs, key performance indicators, that measure success by how many times a representative can get in front of a customer. But today, it's clear for everyone what has happened in the last decades. The correlation between call frequency and the actual results has completely broken down. Despite this, I still see companies pushing their reps to just get more meetings. It's like watching someone repeatedly push a door marked pull and wondering why they can't get in. Having worked with pharmaceutical companies across the globe, I've seen firsthand how this frequency-obsessed approach is not just ineffective, it's actually harmful to the very relationships it's trying to build. But hey, don't just take my word for it. The research is clear. Accenture, for example, found that 64% of HCPs report seeing no difference whatsoever between pharmaceutical companies. Yes, they are all doing the same thing, delivered with the highest frequency possible. The Medical Affairs Professional Society discovered that the quality of scientific exchange was 3.7 times more important than frequency in building KOL relationships. And perhaps most tellingly, a demand gen study revealed that B2B buyers are now typically 70% through their decision-making process before engaging with a representative from a vendor. Think about that last point for a moment. By the time most HCPs agree to meet with you, they've already formed 70% of their opinion. Your window of influence isn't at the beginning of the journey, it's near the end. This raises a profound question. If stakeholders are making most of their decisions before they even talk to you, what should you be doing differently? In 2018, I wrote a book called Sold Out: The Art of Helping Customers to Buy. It was nominated for Marketing Book of the Year in Sweden, not because it offered some revolutionary new sales technique, but because it articulated something we all understand, but rarely practice. The core premise is simple. People hate being sold to, but they do love to buy. And your job isn't to sell, it is to create the circumstances where buying becomes the natural next step. And this is where we encounter the access paradox. The harder you push for access, the less valuable that access becomes. On the other hand, the more selective and more valuable you are, the more your stakeholders will want to engage with you. Path A, for example, high frequency, low value, leading to declining access and relationships. Versus Path B, high selectivity, high value, leading to increasing access and stronger relationships. When I work with sales teams, I often hear the same concern. But if we contact our customers less frequently, won't we lose our relationships? And my response is always the same. You can't lose what you don't really have. A relationship built on frequency isn't a relationship, it's harassment. True relationships aren't measured in frequency. They are measured in value exchange. And this brings us to the practical question: how do we create high-value exchanges that make stakeholders want to engage with us? And this is where our SOS Intelligence framework becomes so powerful. Instead of focusing on how often you can get in front of stakeholders, you focus on understanding what truly matters to them. For example, strategic and economic intelligence helps you understand organizational priorities and constraints. Operational excellence intelligence reveals workflow challenges and improvement opportunities. And finally, scientific and healthcare environment intelligence uncovers the clinical context of treatment paradigm. When you deeply understand these dimensions, something magical happens. Your meetings with stakeholders becomes exponentially more valuable. So instead of going for the traditional approach with 8 product-focused interactions spread across 12 months, you go for the SOS approach. 3 high-value exchanges that address specific stakeholder priorities. So, how do you apply this paradoxical thinking to your stakeholder relationship? Here are 3 things you can start doing already today. First, check your SOS rate for your top 10 accounts. For each interaction you had with these accounts, how many was just product presentations versus addressing one of the strategic, operational or scientific challenges? You should at least aim for a balanced 50-50 split. Second, implement the 3-1 rule. During every meeting you have with a stakeholder, you should provide at least 3 pieces of unique value that addresses their specific priorities. Not generic value, but SOS intelligence-driven insights. Third, establish strategic selectivity for your prioritized accounts. And with strategic selectivity, I mean that you should deliberately reduce the frequency and invest that time and resources into generating fewer but significantly higher value exchanges. And when you master this paradoxical approach, something remarkable is going to happen. Your stakeholders stop seeing you as the sales rep they need to avoid. Instead, they start seeing you as the valuable resource they want to engage with. Remember my confession at the beginning. I don't like being sold to, but I do love to buy. Your stakeholders are exactly the same. They don't want more interruptions in their already overwhelming schedule. They want fewer, more valuable exchanges that help them solve their actual challenges. The access paradox tells us that sometimes, to get closer, we need to take a step back. To build stronger relationships, we need to be more selective. And to create more value for your organizations, we need to stop confusing activity with achievement. As I wrote in Sold Out, our job isn't to sell products. It is to help customers buy solutions to their problems. When you embrace this mindset, the door marked pull finally swings open, and you'll find yourself welcomed rather than avoided. After all, the best relationships aren't measured in frequency. They are measured in impact. If you want me to help you and your team transform how you engage with your most valuable customers, let's connect here on LinkedIn or just send me an email directly to mats@crossfell.se. If you like this video, please like and share. Thank you. Thank you for watching.